My name is Joe Sanchez. I grew up in the Four Corners area, a little town called Gallup, New Mexico, and I work as the coordinator and welding instructor at the welding at UNM College in Gallup. I think one of the important things about being a welder is that you are building stuff that other people can't build. So 98% of our national gross product has some type of welding. Your computers, your cell phones, your vehicles you drive, if you fly, your airplanes, boats. I mean, welding is such a wide career choice. You can be an educator, you can be in sales, you can be pipeline welder, you can be a sheet metal worker, a structural welder, wrought iron work, a sculpture. There's just a lot of things that if you like working with your hands and like to build stuff, this is the choice. When I was a small child, everybody wanted to be a policeman, a fireman, an astronaut. My grandfather was a blacksmith, and I seen the fire and the forging, and that intrigued me. And that's where my interest started as a young kid, and it just kept growing, and that really grew my interest. I'm not a book person, uh, but I'm very skilled with using my hands and figuring out stuff. But in 1980, I started welding, and uh, we were building bridges at that time. I worked for the road department here, and so I had a CDL. So I was driving truck, and then they said, "Hey, you have a lot of interest in welding." So I started welding with them, and they said, "You need a little more schooling." So that's what enticed me to go to school. I can't emphasize how important education is in the welding trade, because you're going to talk about blueprint reading, you're going to talk about metallurgy, you're going to talk about how to set up a machine, how to troubleshoot that machine. I went to welding school, and I went to, at that time it was called TVI, and now it's called CNM, which is Central New Mexico Career College. As growing up in my 20s, 30s, 40s, I'm 65 now. And I have to say that I love it today as much as I did when I was 15 years old. So I always say, do what you love and the money will follow. Because if you love something, you get really good at it. If you have a job and you're making buku money, right? But you hate the job, I have to say you're probably not very good in your job. You're just a warm body sitting in that seat. I moved back home because my mom was in poor health, and I came home to take care of my mother. And so I was kind of thinking of what I wanted to do here in my older age, and I was coming to school to get my degree in construction to be an inspector. And my instructor said, "Hey, because I'm a little bit older than everybody." He says, "What have you been doing for the last 20, 30 years?" And I said, "Well, I'm not only a certified welder, I'm a licensed welder. I have a state contractor's license, and I've been a welder all my life." And he says, "Well, hey, would you be interested in running our welding program?" And that was just, and that's another thing I tell my students is, when opportunity knocks, you have to be prepared to answer that door, because opportunity will go to the next door and the next door until somebody answers it and says, "I'm the guy you're looking for," whether it's a female or male. I like to promote non-traditional studies, which means women in welding, and I have about 8 young ladies in my welding program right now that are doing an awesome job. I have to say that teaching is probably the most rewarding job I've ever had, and I've done pressure pipe, I've done heavy structural welding. I have my own business, but teaching is you get to inspire the young people into something that can change their life. It is a life-changing experience. And we have a lot of students that come back after graduating and getting a good job, and they come with a new truck. Or I just recently had one of my students bought a home, and to me he says, I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would be a homeowner. I thought I would rent the rest of my life, and yet he has pushed himself to a high level and making excellent money. I've been a certified welder since I got out of welding school. So since 1980, I have been certified in the process of pipe welding, pressure pipe. That's an API 1104. I've also certified in dual shield, and I'm also certified in a D1.1, which is structural welding. What is a certified welder? A certified welder is a person that is capable and has the knowledge to either build or repair something to code. And what is code? That is established by AWS. So if you're working on a boom derrick, or just depending on what you're working on, there's a code that you have to follow. And so being a certified welder, you're able to put your work experience and your knowledge into that project. Make sure you do what you love, because money is not enough. And it goes back to, you can be in a very high paying job, but if the love is not there, you're shortchanging yourself, and you're shortchanging the company you're working for. And the American Welding Society is promoting that this country is going to need excess of 400,000 welders by year 2022. Well, 2022 is about 4 months away. All us baby boomers are starting to retire, and there's so many opportunities. So I say, when you go to welding school or welding program, it's not where am I going to get a job, it's where do I want to get a job.